Welcome back to Asia Now. In this video, I'll tell you about don't fall for this common scam in the Philippines. A Canadian man praised for his immediate action after a Malaysian man was struck by a truck. Is my sushi supposed to be glowing? Phone snatched caught on camera, plus much more, beginning with our USD to peso exchange rate. Today it opened at 58.6 per the dollar. Now here's our main story. Whenever you travel to a different country, a new environment, you always have to protect yourself and watch out for people trying to scam you or take some kind of action towards your wallet, essentially trying to get some kind of money from you. If somebody's overly friendly on the street without knowing you, always have your guard up. Of course, in the Philippines, that can be a little bit challenging because a lot of people are genuinely friendly, but the police is one of those things where you have to also be on your toes in case it's like a fraudulent person with a fake vest, having a fake kind of badge. And sometimes even there's been cases, even on this channel I've covered, where actual police have been charged and convicted of basically committing crimes. So just protect yourself and your wallet, and this next story is about that. A man was arrested after pretending to be a policeman and extorting money from a victim in exchange for allegedly helping in filing a case in Lucena, Quezon. According to the report, the victim became suspicious after the suspect repeatedly asked for money. Not only that, even places like immigration or any type of situation where you have to get some kind of legal or formal or anything done in the Philippines, a lot of times you put a couple hundred pesos or a couple of thousand pesos in somebody's palm and they supposedly expedite the process. So you just have to be aware of it and kind of try and navigate it whichever way you want. Personally, I've never been in that situation, but I know I will stand my ground if somebody accused me of doing something I didn't do. To a degree, right? Of course, you don't want to be aggressive or something, but like, also I'll just tell them to write me a ticket, bro. I don't have any money on me, so I'll take it to the police station. If somebody wants to expedite the process for me, it's definitely not going to be the person right at the entrance, like the security guard. That's happened to me before. So I'm like, nah, I'm going to go inside, bro. So just kind of be aware of this kind of stuff. It can happen. Another thing that can happen that you need to be aware of, quote, the rider asked me if I had booked a ride. When I said no, I walked away from him. I saw that he was wearing a motor taxi company uniform, so I felt safe and thought he wouldn't do anything bad, the person said. But the young man was wrong. The rider who approached him around 2 a.m. in Manila wasn't a real driver, but a snatcher looking for a victim. The victim had already filed a police report and informed the motor taxi company about the incident. Very sad to see. A motor taxi is like Grab or Uber. Like basically it's a motorcycle taxi. You call it up, they come pick you up, you get in the back and you go wherever you want to go. Now the sad thing is in the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, all these countries, you can't just buy these jackets or helmets with these logos. You can make them yourself, you can print them out, you can paint them, all this kind of stuff. Or your buddy might have like an actual, legit helmet and jacket for his work and you just borrow it, steal it. So the fact that somebody is wearing like a Grab outfit doesn't automatically make them someone that you can trust. So beware of that as well, because these kind of cases aren't anything new, but a good reminder for all of us to make sure we're not just walking, because you film, you vlog, you take a photo, but just be aware of your surroundings. I know when I was in Laos and Cambodia, many people told me to watch out for my phone because it's a lot more prevalent over there. Staying in the Philippines, the National Privacy Commission has launched an investigation into reports of a massive data leak allegedly involving GCash Inc., operator of GCash, after a post on the dark web claimed to be selling information from millions of accounts. I would not be surprised. GCash is one of my least favorite apps in the Philippines. I don't even use it, to be honest. I gave up after several attempts on a couple different occasions trying to get myself verified and all that. If you use GCash, be aware that that could be a possibility. Maybe do your own little research and see if you're affected. Moving on, Cebu's hotel occupancy has plunged to pandemic-era levels after 6.9 magnitude earthquake in late September caused millions of pesos in booking cancellations. Current rates are down to 25 to 50% in Mactan and 40 to 60% in Cebu City compared to the usual 70 to 90% before the quake. Hotels remain open but have cut costs, furloughed staff, and launched local promos to stay afloat. An understanding side effect of what happens when such a disaster back-to-back happens in a place like Cebu. Even myself, I'm not back there mainly because of that. So imagine people that are vacationing, they got family coming from like just domestic travel itself. I can definitely understand why bookings are down so much. Some bookings that are up, actually. According to travel group, Filipinos are booking more business class tickets in the past few years. few people joked about Nepo babies and, they got families, all these ghost projects. Somebody's taking flights to some places. Yeah, kind of cool to see that more Filipinos are flying business class. Let's go to Thailand. A bizarre case of glowing sushi in Thailand has shocked diners and triggered a food safety probe. Experts suspect a bioluminescent bacteria or chemical residue. Health officials warn the public not to eat seafood that glows unnaturally. The viral story raises questions about seafood sourcing and inspection standards across Thailand. I couldn't imagine the type of fish some of these countries, places, and specifically restaurants obtain, how much they're getting it for, and where. Sometimes on this channel alone, I bring news about imports that are illegal, right? So they don't claim it, they don't pay taxes. And when you can cut corners, a lot of times you also cut corners when it comes to safety and food handling that we talked about yesterday, and obesity and all that. So there's a lot of problems when it comes to your diet as well if you don't watch out for it. Moving on, according to reports, a bus struck a Malaysian man while he was crossing the road, causing him to collapse. A Canadian man, John, was heard encouraging the Malaysian man, assuring him that everything would be fine and that an ambulance would arrive soon. He checked on the Malaysian man's condition and avoided moving him from the pavements to cause further injury. John placed his hand under the man's neck and lifted his head off the ground. Locals praised his kindness and flooded the comment section with compliments. A lot of times individuals act differently when they see something like this. It's like the whole idea of fight or flight. Everybody's different. Some people rush to help and some people kind of back off, trying to let professionals do their job. I'm always curious how I would handle any kind of situation, because it's easy for us to just sit on our sofas, on a toilet, I don't know, we're watching this, and imagine ourselves behaving a certain way, but in reality, who knows, we might behave completely differently. Even if you think you wouldn't do something, oftentimes I see people or myself even going to do something that I thought I would never do in order to make sure somebody else is okay, or I think I'm helping in one way or another. We'll come back to Thailand in a second, but two separate U.S. Navy aircrafts crashed into the South China Sea, or West Philippine Sea, depending on where you're reading this, on Sunday, October 26th, during routine operation from the USS Nimitz. An MH-60R Seahawk helicopter went down first. All three crew members were rescued, and about 30 minutes later, an F-18F Super Hornet fighter jet also crashed. Both pilots safely ejected and were recovered. No fatalities were reported, and all personnel are stable condition. The Navy is investigating both incidents, which occurred as President Donald Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth were touring Asia. Pretty cool. So there's that as well. I know a lot of you guys are some kind of military, Navy, what's the other one, kind of vet. So maybe you know a bit more about these helicopters and fighter jets. Actually, I'm sure I know some of you know a lot more than I do. And that is that. I'm glad no fatalities. Next up, an undercover sting in Bangkok led to an arrest of 8 Nigerian nationals and a Thai accomplice accused of trafficking. Police disguised themselves as construction workers to infiltrate the Nana area known for the nightlife. The suspects used a spit and sell method to evade capture. Authorities say the bus shows Thailand's determination to club or curb foreign-led crime in tourist zones and praised officers for their creativity in maintaining safety. Should you be telling us exactly what your decoy or disguise was? I think that's pretty cool and clever, but now we all know if you're selling something on the streets, be wary of construction workers also. More from Thailand. Thailand's government has clarified that private gatherings such as comedy shows, concerts, and weddings can still go ahead during the mourning period for Her Majesty Queen Sirikit. Officials stress the events should be conducted respectfully, maintaining a tone of dignity and cultural sensitivity. The mourning period lasts 1 year for civil servants and 30 days for flag observance, but it does not impose legal restrictions on private activities. Organizers are urged to avoid overly festive or loud celebrations out of respect. The clarification eases concerns among event planners nationwide. I'm not sure what kind of concert you can have with low volume speakers, but I guess you can still go ahead and have a wedding or something as long as you keep Her Majesty in mind. That's what the Thai government wants you to consider. And lastly, here's our feel-good moment of the day. Let's go back to the Philippines. A total of 151 breast cancer patients, including those undergoing active treatments and those under monitoring, receive financial support as well as anti-flu and pneumonia vaccines from the local government of San Juan and Carey Foundation as part of city's observation of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Glad to see some people getting assistance. Time for our segment Yesterday Today, but I do want to thank someone who bought me a coffee first. Thank you to Tony who bought me a coffee and says, have a great day, love your videos, and thank you, I love the support. Oroville says, genetic my ass, it's all about fried food and carbs. I'm also a big believer of exactly what you said. I don't think genetics has a lot to do with it. Maybe 1% or less of people are actually affected by genetics when it comes to eating and gaining weight, I should say. As an adult, I think it just comes down to how much food you put in your body against how much calories you're burning in your day. Abigail says, eating too much at Jollibee's. And K. Wild says, obesity is not genetic. It is a garbage, ultra-processed food, particularly Jollibee, McDo, and the like. Native food critic says the major cause of obesity in the Philippines is due to overeating and promotions of unlimited portions of food, especially rice, by many fast food restaurants. Yeah, because it's cheap. Rice is cheap and they can promote that all you can eat unlimited, and plus how much rice do you want to be eating at an all you can eat buffet? You want to focus on the meats and the wings and such. But that's it for today. Leave your thoughts down below regarding any of the stories I covered today. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, maybe consider hitting the like button, subscribing, doing all the little buttons to help me reach a wider audience. Thanks. I'll see you next time.
Come down to Papa. No, you're not my Papa. Papa miss you. Boy, you are a crocodile. You're not my Papa. Santa know it's decided and all, but you need to know that you are adopted. What? All the memory we have together, is it all a lie? Of course not. You are my son, and I hate you. What? And I love you. I love you too, Dad. Now calm down so I can eat you. What? So I can hug you. Okay, what you want from me? You know what? I'm done. I'm leaving. You are not my son, and I'm not your dad. Goodbye. Come down to Mama.